Well, everybody, what an interesting game at Turf Moor. 1-1 it finishes on Friday night under the lights at the Turf, and probably the best result possible for Leeds United. It keeps Borough away, of which we've got them coming up very, very soon. And last time Borough came to Ellen Road and gave us a little bit of a demolition job in the 3-0 victory, you kind of want that buffer a little bit. And listen, tonight it was a really interesting game, but it keeps Borough on 31 points. Leeds are obviously on 35. They are a dangerous team at this moment in time. Obviously created as much XG as Leeds United and look very, very decent when they get it right. I'm going to speak about that in just a little bit. Burnley, on the other hand, an absolute impregnable defence, a superb defence, conceding 6 goals, which is the best record in terms of defensive record in Europe right now, just above Atletico Madrid. So it was interesting to see this game tonight from a strategical point of view, a tactical perspective, and see who was going to come out on top. I was saying before the game that I'd have preferred it to have been a draw from a Leeds United perspective, but I think both teams felt that before the game, they would have gone into the game trying to win the game, not coming out with a point, settling for a point, but wanting to win that game. I think Middlesbrough have been on a real upward trajectory. At certain stages of the season, they've slipped a little bit. We've seen that. They've been a little bit inconsistent, but they've got themselves in the conversation right now. Burnley's defence has kept them where they are, and obviously nicking the odd goal. But Burnley have been okay. Burnley fans will probably say as well that they've not hit those dizzy heights right yet, as Koleosho hit those dizzy heights yet. You know, we've seen them going forward. You're seeing the most profitable play from the likes of Zian Fleming, from Jadon Anthony. I'm not 100% sure yet. I do think when Jadon Anthony's on the pitch, though, you know, from a Leeds United perspective, I didn't think we got to see enough of him last season, but he does give Burnley a different perspective. Now, when we look at the shots overall, you've got Burnley having 15, Borough having 10, and you probably turn around to yourself and say, well, did Burnley deserve to win the game? I thought they looked excellent in the first half, and I thought by Burnley's standards, they looked very dynamic, they looked quick, they looked very, very well balanced, I thought, across the midfield. Cullen, Brownhill in there as well. It was a, interesting decision to bring Hannibal on. When he brought Hannibal on, I thought he gave him a tiny bit more bite in there, but you'd lost that fluidity a little bit in that midfield, I thought. But overall, when you look at the XG and we bring it back down to that conversation that we always have when it comes to Burnley, overall, I believe it was still below 0.7, which Burnley still struggling to generate consistently above 1 XG per game, which tells its own story. Borough, on the other hand, generating 10 shots and 0.88 XG. I have to say, in the first half, I thought Burnley were the better team. Coming into the second half, Bergzorg, that ball that was played in on the penalty spot, he had to score, and those are the big chances that take you into the top 2. Those are the big chances that the big teams in the division should be and probably will be converting. Now, if we look at the second half XG as well, the expected goals, Burnley were way out in front, and overall throughout the match, they generated 2 big chances to Burnley's 0. Now, when we look at the goal, a lovely bit of play finished by Borough, a nice little dink over the goalkeeper. Lovely, lovely bit of play there. But when you look at the Con Roberts finish, my goodness, for Burnley, you've got to give him a little bit of credit on his left peg coming inside and obviously looping the goalkeeper. But what is the goalkeeper doing? He's absolutely miles off his line. Credit to Connor Roberts for the connection on the ball. Credit Connor Roberts for the trajectory of the ball and getting the right curvature on it as well with the wind. The wind, we have to talk about the conditions at Burnley tonight. They were awful, awful. Something Borough will be used to on Teesside and Burnley will definitely be used to, obviously, at Turf Moor. But both teams, I thought, coped with it quite well. They were trying to play the ball on the ground, and in conditions like that, playing the ball on the ground is really, really difficult. The ball gets caught up. The ball, when you're trying to play it in front of the defender or in front of the midfielder to run onto, will go in behind. So I thought both teams dealt with that extremely well. I thought if I'm just looking at it from an outside perspective, which is what I'm doing right now, I have to say, I think Burnley looked quite dangerous through the set pieces, and they generated 0.25 XG through their set pieces in comparison to Borough's 0.12 XG on set pieces. And I thought Burnley, that is where a la Arsenal of the other night when they just kept putting the ball on the goalkeeper. And I thought maybe after that mishap for the Burnley goal, maybe they were testing his confidence a little bit, but I thought he dealt with it quite well. Won a few free kicks as well for Middlesbrough, but they sat and held very, very well. I thought Edmondson had a good game at the back for Borough, and I just thought they looked very steady. I don't think they looked in danger whatsoever. I thought Hayden Hackney had a lovely game. There was a bit right at the end though where you're looking for that quality for Middlesbrough to play Ben Dokes in, and you're thinking if he gets them on that right-hand side, of which he was almost doing your Mohamed Salahs, he can go left, he can go right. Excellent low centre of gravity, lovely balance on both feet. It's the first time I've seen him play properly. Wow, what a talent. We have to talk about him. But you just wonder, obviously with that first half dominance from Burnley, the second half dominance from Middlesbrough, it probably was a fair result tonight. But Burnley, I thought in set pieces looked really good. If Latte Lath starts that game instead of Bergzog just in that position on the penalty spot where that ball was dragged back, you think there's one scenario there. One scenario, obviously, is in the top 5 scorers in the division. You feel that's in the back of the net, and a couple of chances for Middlesbrough, especially at the start of the second half. You felt that if Latte Lath was on the pitch, that's good night Vienna, and Borough are in the lead there. But who deserved to win the game? I thought across the span of it, I thought maybe Borough just edged it. I wasn't convinced again by Burnley. I'm still yet to watch a full 90 minutes and to be convinced by them. And Burnley fans will be watching this thinking, well, who cares? Who's bothered if you're convinced by it? We're above you in the division. That is quite right. But I feel Leeds have just not kicked into gear yet. I wonder if Burnley have got that gear that they can go up again. And with the utmost respect, the starting 11, once again, I have to say, I'm looking at Leeds United starting 11, especially with Ramazani back into the fold. I'm looking at it and thinking, Daniel Farke, you have to finish it above this Burnley 11 with the greatest of respect. And you'd expect Burnley to maybe look in the January market, maybe for an attacker, someone who can complement Jay Rodriguez and Zian Fleming. You'd maybe look at Borough as well to enhance their squad again. They always bring in excellent additions under Ben Gibson, and you wonder what under the chairman Gibson, and you wonder what artillery he's going to give Michael Carrick in the January window as well. One thing I wanted to mention as well, just going on to tonight, you looked at Luca Koleosho, who I think at points, especially when he's 1v1, is excellent. He can go both ways. He's got a real turn of pace, and he has got a very, very dangerous shot on him. And I thought Dijksteel was superb tonight for Middlesbrough in that right back spot. Have to say, I thought he was exceptional. Every single time he seemed to show Koleosho down the flank, and that's excellent defending because he had that yard of pace. Almost your Aaron Wan-Bissaka's in terms of showing him down the flank and always getting an interception in there. And I thought Koleosho, even though he had 2 successful dribbles tonight, the top of the charts, I thought Dijksteel, when you look at how many tackles he made, 5, which put him top of the charts, I thought he was really edging Koleosho out of the game. But one man who we do need to end on is the supremely talented Ben Dokes, who is going to be a massive problem for many teams this season. And I feel like when he's going 1v1, even when he was in the tight pockets, he could be a central attacking midfielder, but you can see the Mo Salah's in him, his hero at Liverpool. And by goodness, what a talent he is that Middlesbrough have got. Is he going to be recalled by Liverpool in January? Who knows? But by goodness, what a loan they've got there. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. The perfect result for Leeds United tonight. Was I enamoured by Burnley? I have to say no. Was I impressed by Borough going away to Turf Moor? I have to say I'm probably leaning to the latter, the latte lather. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, everybody. I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.